I thought it would be fun to make some videos about dream symbols. I have this book, The Book of Dream Symbols. Appropriate, huh? By Klaus Bomar. It uses things like Carl Jung's work and also Freud. Um, but it brings out the point that seldom does a dream image have only one meaning. Rather, it points in many different directions at once, and at least a few of them have been recognized throughout history. So, um, these different psychologists did a lot of research and figured out um, that these different symbols have meanings, consistent meanings. Even though they have more than one meaning, it's usually somewhat related, or it's related to a concept that makes sense with the symbols. And I think that it's pretty intuitive, most of it. It's not like real out there. Like I've seen other books that seem to be really wildly specific, and this one's just really cool because it's like an encyclopedia, and it just kind of lists all of these symbols in alphabetical order, um, and you can look them up and it'll tell you what are some different things that they can mean, um, what you should think about in relationship to them, and then um, it's cool because you can look up a lot of different parts of your dream and piece together like a more cohesive meaning, and you get to use your own judgment and your own intuition about what fits with you and what's going on with you or what means something to you. So I think it's really interesting. Anyway, I figured I would do one. I um, I had a dream this morning, I guess, that I remember part of. So it's so crazy. I was outside, I was by this building with Michael J. Nelson from Mystery Science Theater and Riff Tracks. Um, and there was a bird in the building, but it was like trapped by the ceiling because there were all these spider webs, and they were like blankets of spider webs just going like in a straight blanket covering like like a net under the whole ceiling, and he was like afraid to break it or didn't know what to do, but then he finally decided to just like rip a hole in it, and then the bird got out. um and I thought that it would fly away, but it didn't, and it just like flew outside, and then it was um just like walking on the sidewalk and stuff, and it's like I knew stuff about what the bird was thinking, and I could tell that it was like really intelligent or something. Um, it was like I remember in the dream I thought that it was a chickadee for some reason. It was like a small bird, almost looked kind of like a robin. I don't even know for sure what a chickadee looks like. I think it might have been yellow. Um, Maybe that's the color of a chickadee. I feel like maybe it was a little too big to be one, but I don't know. That's what I thought. So, that's a good example of the kinds of stuff. Like in my dream, I knew it was a chickadee. It doesn't matter what it looks like or what it really was. It's like your brain tells you how to interpret things sometimes because it tells you like it's so weirdly specific about your interpretation of your own images. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, then I don't remember the rest of the dream very clearly. I just remember that um, we were like in this town or something, but it was almost like a ghost town. Like the building that the bird had been in was a very small building. Um, there was nothing inside, and the doors and windows were just like open. Um, and there's no one around, and everything was kind of worn down and stuff, and so we were like going down these streets of the town, um, and I was remembering like some other dream that I had. In the dream, I was remembering it or thinking like this had happened before, but except that Bill from Riff Tracks was with Mike, and they had like a wagon, and the bird was a different kind of bird, like a bigger bird, like maybe a parrot or something. It's like the bird kept changing. It was a parrot. At one time, I kept thinking it was like a Canadian goose or something. And yeah, they had like a wagon and all this stuff, and but in the dream I knew that that previous time had been like a performance that they were doing, um, like on Riff Tracks or Mystery Science Theater they'll do little like skits in between when they're watching the movie, and although they don't really usually do like location stuff like that, but it's like I knew that that's what it was. um, yeah, so there's that, and then at one point we were in some sort of area that had a lot of trees, and um, I was remembering stuff and thinking stuff and noticing like what the bird was doing, but Mike was like really preoccupied, and I don't remember him really interacting with me. We were just like together for some reason, and then um, I had written down from earlier telling the bird my secrets. I think for some reason I was telling something, and I was worried that I was giving like telling too much. Um, like people were gonna know about it or something. Yeah, so that's all I remember right now. Um, maybe I'll look some stuff up and see what it says. So I'm gonna look up bird. It's interesting. There's a heading here for bird woman. So if you ever dream about like hag ravens from Skyrim or something, there you go. Let's see, bird. It says sea, raven, owl, dove. Spiritual content. An attempt to get a better perspective. This symbol also has an erotic meaning. In addition, it may imply that you want to be different, as in the myth of Icarus. A flock of birds has a special meaning since they seem to represent the intelligence of nature in their movement, an intelligence that is completely different from humans. They express group will in contrast to the will of the individual. In the ancient Welsh poem Mabinogion, I don't know how to say that, the goddess Rhiannon is described as a flock of birds since she symbolizes female wisdom in nature. However, a flock of birds, like a colony of insects, may also appear dangerous, as in Alfred Hitchcock's film The Birds. So, I think the first part could be related to me, spiritual content, to get a better perspective, an erotic meaning, I don't know what that means. It's sort of big. So, yeah, so that's the first part, those ideas in mind, and then try looking up something else. Doesn't seem like they will have something as specific as chickadee, but I will just quickly see if there's anything like that. No. Okay. Then I'll look up trapped, maybe? Although that might not be related to me. I don't know if because the bird was trapped and not me, if that will alter the meaning, but it still might give me some concept. It doesn't seem that it has it under that. Oh, trap. Okay. Difficult situation, being imprisoned. More prudence than caution is in order, feeling restricted. Says these other headings that that's related to is siege, amber, village, cage, and elevator. See also falling. So apparently trap is related to that stuff. That's interesting. I'll look up spider webs. QRS. Spider web. Yay. A certain subject has to be approached with great care. You are feeling trapped. That's crazy. Wow. See also maze. That's just so interesting. I can't believe that. Spiderweb itself means trapped. And I was already thinking that the bird was trapped. So it seems like you feeling trapped has to be approached with great care. That combined with the bird being like spiritual, spiritual content? Spiritual content or spiritual content? I'm not totally sure which one it's trying to say. It's spelled the same. An attempt to get a better perspective. Or an erotic meaning. So something about one of those things. I don't feel like it's an erotic meaning. The situation wasn't. I just don't feel that one. So I'm thinking spiritual stuff or a better perspective. And with the spiderweb part, feeling like a need to approach it really carefully. I think that makes sense. I could relate to that. I wonder what I would look up for, like setting the bird free or intelligent animals or something. Maybe I'll try looking up animal. Animal. The animal, compulsive nature of human beings, instincts, according to Freud and most other dream interpreters, removed from awareness, animus, or awareness removed from instinct, anima, in human beings. The image of the suppressed or of the shadow, suggesting a chance for integration. The type of animal in the dream is important. Jung suggested that we find out more about the innate character of the animal we have dreamed about. According to Freud, small animals always symbolize children and siblings, while wild animals are a symbol for sexually excited or exciting people, evil urges or passions. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. I never have understood the concept of anima and animus for some reason. I keep reading about them, like, in passing in different situations over a long period of time, and I don't quite get the concept for some reason. Yeah, so that's interesting. Yes, I noticed that I thought the bird was very intelligent, which was one of the innate characteristics. Jung said that's important. It's interesting that talking about it being instincts, and the shadow, all that stuff makes sense to me. It seems related and interesting. I wonder if there is heading for celebrity. I don't see it anywhere. One thing I should probably mention too is that it's good to spend time, if you can, thinking about how you felt about your dream or what impressions you have with before you look at the symbols. I've done it quite a few times so that I was comfortable with that, but say like, how I felt about the bird, what it seemed like to me, and consider your impressions. Also, I've heard if you have trouble remembering your dreams, it's good to think about it thoroughly as soon as you wake up if you can. And I wrote some of my impressions down so that if I forget, I can remind myself. Um, I think it's interesting that Mike Nelson was there. I'm not sure what significance that has. It's just an odd or interesting choice of a person. He's a celebrity, but also he's more of a minor celebrity. Someone that seems really down to earth and relatable. He's funny, but he seems like a regular guy. Um, he's really snarky, but in the dream, he was worried about the bird and he was hesitant. Um, I don't know. Interesting. And he didn't talk to me that much. And I didn't really react or anything that he was there. In this book, it talks about how other people are representative of versions of yourself and not of that person in particular, usually. Sometimes it can be if it's someone um, actually in your life, or say, like, maybe if you just love that celebrity, maybe it's really about you wanting to meet them or something, but usually it's about a part of yourself in the dream that you, however you're viewing it, is representative of who it is. Um, Maybe I'll look up that symbol. I think I want to say it's under other, but other things and persons. Usually points to too much egotism, overcoming egotistical notions. Encounters with others, either in the form of strangers or the self, are the beginning of building self-awareness and self-knowledge. Often the task at hand is to become consciously aware of oneself. In most cases, the image in the dream is that of a stranger or foreigner who is representing a part of the self. On the other hand, what you believe to be normal in your own life is questioned, and you're challenged to seek self-knowledge and to re-examine your lifestyle. So that made me more fitting, like it mentioned, if it was a stranger, um, something foreign. So if it's a part of yourself and you see it as foreign, that says something about um, your discomfort or separation from yourself, from that part of yourself, and you don't know yourself well enough. So, it's interesting. Maybe I'll look up friend or something. If that doesn't have anything, maybe I'll look up name. Friend. Favorable news, something lost has been found, longing for social contact, similar to companion. Usually unknown aspects of your own personality, wanting more support. Let's see what man says. Man. See also companion. In the case of a woman, this dream may be pointing to a father figure or ego ideal. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. I would say, like, an ego ideal for me would be like the thinking part of my personality, which also tends to have a male representation or be viewed as male. Like, thinking is generally connected with male and feeling with female, so that tends to be consistent in dream symbols. I mean, it's a reason why that stuff is stereotyped, although it's not Anyway, I don't need to go into that. I'm not saying that every man is a thinker and every woman is a feeler or shit like that, but um, it's just maybe that explains why it's hard for people to get over those stereotypes because it's ingrained. That's all I'm saying. And subconsciously, there's a connection that way. So, um, so that's interesting. I relate to that because I thought I was a thinker. Now I know I'm a feeler. Apparently, I had a strong um, push to be that, and um, yeah, so that's interesting. Um, okay, I'm trying to skip over the parts that don't apply because my video is already long and I don't need to be reading the whole book to you. I guess. Um, yeah, so that's very interesting. So if I put that together with the other symbols, Mike Nelson, a father figure or ego ideal of being um, a thinker and logical and that kind of stuff. He that part was afraid to and was where my instincts were trapped, but it broke a hole and let him out. And me feeling like the bird was intelligent, the bird represents my instincts, is like having a sense that I should trust my instincts and that that's the stronger part of me, even though it's hard to verify and seems like, okay, so like in a dream, I just had a sense that the bird was intelligent, but it didn't do anything or say anything, and how would I prove that to someone if they didn't see it too? And I think that that's relevant to me and how I feel about my intuition or relying on my feeling judgments because it's all very hard to explain or to prove to someone if they don't see things that way and if it's not a strength for them. So um, that's something I've been thinking about, I guess. Yeah, so that's actually really interesting. I never uh, I can see all those things and it seems really positive. I didn't know it was going to be that meaningful when I was going to look this dream up. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Alright, well, maybe I'll stop there since that was some interesting connections and this video is long. I know I mention that every freaking time. Maybe I should stop saying that. I don't know. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Maybe I'll do another one sometime.